Colorado. My name is Mace and I am the owner of Colorado Reverse Mortgage. Today I was not asked a specific question that I'm going to answer for anybody in particular, but it is a question that everybody asks sooner or later. Simply, what is the process of obtaining a reverse mortgage? I'm here to shoot straight and educate, as sugarcoating information is never helpful to the consumer nor my industry. So for the sake of my answer today, I'm going to assume that you've already learned the basics and have decided to begin the process in earnest. That said, let's discuss what typically happens over the next couple following weeks. Your reverse mortgage professional should have already reviewed your circumstances and, based on your lifestyle, your needs, goals, helped you decide how to best structure the loan. We'll further expand your knowledge base and provide you with the numbers, the charts, details, with reference materials specifically that are going to be prepared for you. Then, armed with a very solid understanding of the program and accurate numbers, you're now ready for the HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development. You're going to be ready for the HUD required counseling session. Now, many companies want you to complete the loan application before you even go to counseling. Personally, I feel that it's not to the consumer's benefit, because on some level, if you complete a loan application ahead of time, there's a psychological obligation for the consumer, and the consumer feels obligated to proceed with this individual or this company without really before they were ever educated to the level that they should be already. Far too often, seniors enter into the process without the educational level that I think that they should have. So my preference is to educate first and get the counseling certificate later, once the consumer feels comfortable with the loan, with the product. Now, HUD does require that all applicants receive this unbiased third-party counseling. There's no way around it. They're going to explain the available options and details of a reverse mortgage. Hopefully it's a repeat of information you've already known. At least that's my goal, for you to go through this counseling session. I hope you don't learn anything new. That means we did a good job teaching you. But think of this certificate that you're going to get as the ticket to ride the reverse mortgage train. So we're going to give you a current list of counselors that are available to you. This list is provided to us through HUD. But we can provide you with this list, or you can find a similar list on my website under the Counselors tab. Typically, you're going to pay a fee directly to this nonprofit organization. It could be anywhere from, I've seen $120 to $180, depending on which counseling service that you find. And the counseling can be done either face-to-face. You'll have to go to their offices. A lot of my clients also choose to just do it over the phone for the sake of convenience. The counseling session takes, I believe the national average is a little bit over an hour. Many of my clients, because of the amount of time and education that we give, find that it is a bit less than that. But I think it's fair that you should expect it to take about an hour. Now, this important certificate should then be emailed to us at Colorado Reverse Mortgage. Your loan officer or my email will be just fine, and you'll get that later. Now, at this point, we're going to complete the application package with you. Now, because you've already shared a lot of information with us, it's mostly just a review to verify the details that you've given, and it only takes about, 10 minutes to dot the I's and cross the T's. But we're going to gather some missing information. Up to this point, we shouldn't have asked you for your social security number. Okay, in my opinion, there's no reason for you, the consumer, to give your social security number to anybody other than your loan officer, and only after you've chosen to proceed with the process with that individual. Now, your loan officer is also going to be able to give you a list of documents for you to gather. All right, well, at that point, we're now ready to schedule an appointment to gather signatures on our paperwork and get these copies of the needed documents. Some folks prefer a face-to-face meeting, but with more and more frequency, we do this all in a virtual meeting over the phone and through the internet. It really couldn't be easier or more convenient. It doesn't take long. Now, after signing the application package in person or digitally, we're ready for the next step. There's still a few things for you to do throughout the process, like open up the door when the appraiser comes knocking. But at this point, most of your work is already done. Now ours, that's when we begin our job in a formal capacity. The next step after you sign the application package is that internally we're going to get what's called an FHA case number. We're going to contact a title company and order the appraisal. Either we can use the title company that you choose, or with your permission, we can choose a title company that's going to be convenient for you. Title insurance is regulated by the state, so the fees that they charge should be very similar whether you choose them or I choose them. Having an escrow officer, however, that understands the unique reverse mortgage paperwork does make for a smoother closing. But if you've got concerns or are aware of issues that are on title or issues even about the appraisal, you really should have informed us of these concerns before we place these orders so that they can be addressed prior to any expenses being incurred. Oftentimes, your concerns really are not problems at all, and they can be addressed very quickly by discussing them up front. You can alleviate any issues or concerns, hopefully before you even go to counseling. Now, at the same time, as I mentioned earlier, that we order the title work, we're also going to be ordering the appraisal. The home will be inspected and appraised. For the appraisal, you're going to pay an appraisal management company, or an AMC, appraisal management company. We're going to be placing the order through this AMC. The AMC will assign an independent FHA certified appraiser to inspect and place a market value on your property. Appraisals are collected up front with either a check, or most people will use a credit card. Now, be aware though that due to the market, the location of the home, the type of construction, the property size, or other complexities, the appraisal may cost higher. But here in Colorado, a typical FHA certified appraisal is going to run about $650. And remember, this $650 is non-refundable. An independent licensed FHA appraiser is going to be assigned by the AMC. Now, this appraiser, he or she will call you to schedule the time and date in which they'll come knocking on your door. And when they come out there, I would say they're usually at folks' homes for maybe 40 minutes. It doesn't take very long. Most of an appraiser's job and most of their work is done at a computer desk as they're and out in the field. So they'll only be at your home for half an hour or so. The mortgage companies and the loan officers, we have little or no direct communication with the appraiser. All of our communication typically is processed and handled through the AMC. They separate us. Now, do be aware that as of October 2nd, 2018, FHA implemented an appraisal review ruling. Once the appraisal has been completed and the file was submitted to the underwriter, the appraisal is then immediately forwarded to the FHA. Now, at this point, the FHA could require a second appraisal at your expense. And statistically, this occurs about 20% of the time. The states that have it occur with more regularity are California, Florida, and Texas. But I think it's safe to say statistically across the country, about 1 out of every 5 appraisals that get submitted, a second appraisal will be required by the FHA. Now, neither you nor your lender nor the underwriter have any control over this government requirement. It is not our decision. Nobody can influence this. If 2 appraisals are required by the FHA, the lower value will be used for the application and processing. The reason for this possible second appraisal, it's that FHA found that some nationally recognized lenders, and with a lesser degree some local companies, but they were influencing some appraisers in getting inflated values, or didn't qualify because they didn't meet FHA's minimum requirements for safety, health, and marketability. Now, I am disappointed with the behavior of these marginal lenders and these sketchy appraisers. Clearly, this practice is unethical, and now the entire industry and the senior community is paying the price because of a few bad apples. Moving on though, after the appraisal and the title work has been completed, we're going to review it. We're going to look for obvious red flags. And then we ship the loan off to the underwriting department where the documents are reviewed, verified, the appraisal is sent to FHA, and everything is verified for accuracy and then finalized. The underwriter has the final say as to what the home value being used is if the second appraisal is not required. At this point, we are given what's called a conditional approval. On this document, outstanding conditions will be listed. Now, the majority of these conditions will be satisfied by Colorado Reverse Mortgage internally and without needing much or any of your assistance. Occasionally, though, we will need your help to resolve some conditions that we simply cannot do without your help and guidance. Once we've satisfied the underwriter's initial conditions, we are then going to be issued what's called the Clear to Close, the CTC. And now it's time for closing. From the time Colorado Reverse Mortgage received the counseling certificate to the time of closing, I'd say on average, plan on it being about a 5 or 6 week process. Sometimes it goes faster, sometimes it goes longer. There are just variables outside of everyone's control, but I would say on average 5 or 6 weeks. Now at the closing, you're going to need to sign all the final papers, all the final documents. Most of the papers will look familiar as you've seen them earlier in the process and been mailed disclosures throughout the 5 or 6 week period. And folks should find that the closing papers are essentially a review of the information that they already know. However, these are the final documents, so if you have questions, now's the time to raise your hand and ask your questions and get clarification. Hopefully that has already happened beforehand, but now is certainly a good opportunity for you to ask those last minute questions. Of course, if you've got questions 6 weeks after closing or 6 years after closing, don't hesitate to give us a call. We're always happy to help answer those. Generally, you're going to go to the title company to sign the papers. However, if it's not convenient or not possible, arrangements can be made for either the escrow officer or an assigned notary to meet you at your home to sign and notarize the papers. But you should expect to pay an extra fee for this additional service. That said, in an attempt for us to keep your closing costs as low as possible, we always do, we're going to encourage that closing happen with the escrow officer at the title company itself. Before the disbursement of funds, which means before you get your money, there's going to be the required 3-day right of rescission period. Most of you have probably refinanced somewhere over the years and may recall this, but on any type of refinance, forward or reverse, a 3-day right of rescission period must be observed. Federal law requires this. After the loan is funded, after these 3 business days, then you have access to the reverse mortgage funds and the loan is officially funded and closed. And you can use the money at that point for whatever you wish. I could have made a shorter video, but I feel that it's important to be thorough and not glaze over the process. On the other hand, I could have made a much longer video, but then it would have been your eyes and ears that have glazed over. So I hope I found a happy medium and helped you understand what the process is from the consumer's point of view. If not, just give me a buzz and I'll do my best to clarify. Again, my name is Mace Kochenderfer. I own Colorado Reverse Mortgage. I appreciate you watching my videos and an opportunity to serve you. Thank you. Give me a call. Take care.